Why hello there, welcome to Shuffle Junkies. I have a hill that I want to die on. I have a white whale that I'm chasing. I have a dragon that I've got to slay. And that is my addiction to mill decks, something that I've had since Magic the Gathering. It's just my favorite alternate win condition. Fatigue decks in Hearthstone are still something that I enjoy and try and come back to from time to time. It's in my blood. So when I saw Chronos during this expansion's promotional period, I got really excited because this might be an effective way to mill someone. Of course, it affects you too, so my hopes were relatively mild until I started learning more about how artifacts work, and we, say, oh, you get to put stuff in your deck. And the number of cards in your deck affect things, which means you're going to want to keep on putting things in your deck. So the idea became, hey, what if Chronos forced everyone to draw, but we continuously refill the deck? So at that point, we just have to make sure we stay alive, which means putting a lot of things to banish, get rid of some of those scary minions that can't be killed, put in some things to kill scary minions that can be killed, put in some substitutions here, some banishing of smaller minions so we can get some puppets for rush. Again, have a bunch of artifacts that have rush, have a bunch of artifacts and minions that have taunts, and can serve as board clears. Generate more of those artifacts. Give all those artifacts rush. Give us some heals. Heals are good. Longevity. Again, healing, longevity. And that's it. It's just basically a deck of removal, of filling your deck with more cards, of controlling the board, and building walls. That's all this deck is. It's all a giant phalanx maneuver around Chronos so we could deck out our opponent. Does it work? No. but we'll take a look at some of those losses. We'll take a look at a victory. We'll talk about what works, what doesn't work. One of these losses is just a dumb mistake on my part because sometimes your opponent baits you and you take the bait. Don't take the bait. Learn from my mistakes. And this is kind of going to be a two-parter because while there's Portal Mill, that's not the only deck that you can do this with. You could kind of do it with Forest, and that's because Forest has decent removal and it has very small minions that you could play a lot of. So if you have a whole bunch of tiny minions, Chronos doesn't affect you very much, but it keeps you with a nice full hand. Your opponent, meanwhile, does not have that luxury. They will be drawing too much. So that'll be next week. We'll take a look at that one. For now, let's go fall down a flight of stairs with Mill Portal. Oh boy. Oh boy. Turn 8 is come and gone. Don't have Chronos, but at the very least, we can clear the board. We are fortunately up against a fellow meme deck in this stupid Luminous Standard commander deck here. I prefer support cannon if you're going for... And then they play Chronos. Insult to injury here. I don't benefit from this. In an act of desperation, forced to... explosion there. It is over. With 2 biofabrications. And I'm pretty sure this does 0 damage at its enhanced cost. 1. Does 1 damage. We draw Chronos, so you know what? Lose by playing my goddamn deck archetype here. Boy. Reliving this is just depressing. And obviously we die because I have 7 health and they have 8. Oh man, Kronos in the opening hand. Surely we won't lose this one. 6 health. Turn 7. I could play Kronos next turn. Oh no. Okay, 3 health. That's a number. Don't have any of the cards that heal me in my hands. But I'm sure that's not important. But hey, we could start forcing everyone to draw cards now. Unless we die right now. Oh, that might not kill us. Only drew 2 cards. Oh, I already had... oh. Hard mulligan. Kronos! Okay. We got it. We got Kronos. Sure, we're up against Bloodcraft, but how aggressive could it possibly be? Oh. That aggressive, huh? I see. Oh, Kronos again! We got 2 of them! Make sure we banish that. Alright, we're gonna be just fine. Oh my god, we actually have Kronos on the table. Doesn't matter if he's dead. It doesn't matter. Maybe this is the one we win. They're down to 22, we're up to 24. We just gotta keep the board clear. Start filling up our deck. We have plenty of removal. And a little bit of heal. Feeling pretty good. No one plays this card anymore, come on. Not complaining though, that is a big help. Just to make sure I don't do anything stupid, like put them into Vengeance. Oh, I put them in the Vengeance. Alright, we just have to hope that they don't take advantage of the fact that I put them in the Vengeance. Oh. It's alright. We still have our 2 wards up, as long as they don't have a... oh. We almost won that one. Almost. Neutral Rune? What the hell are you even going to do? I feel like this is probably my best chance to win right here, because Neutral Rune hasn't really been good for a while, and maybe they took a hiatus from the game and they just got back. I doubt we have anything significant to worry about here. Maybe I should have played Kronos last turn. Alright, oh god. Calm down, please? Oh my god. Well, that's disgusting. Start getting rid of some of them, maybe. Sadly, I couldn't put a ward up this turn. Oh boy. This'll show him. Force those guys to draw 8 cards. This ward will keep me safe. Oh. Alright, well, none of you are Kronos, which means I don't want any of you in my opening hand. Oh my god, Kronos! This time we'll win. Oh, you see how we didn't cut away? That's how you know this is the one we actually win. So let's review what we've learned from our many losses so far. If you're up against Bloodcraft, don't put them into Vengeance. You're not trying to win by doing damage anyway, so why give them the advantage, right? Just focus on building your wall and keeping the board clear. You don't need to do damage, you're trying to win through deck out. One thing I didn't really chat about is the fact that all of the cards that generate artifacts in here only generate 2 types of artifacts. They generate ancient artifacts, which are 3/1s with rush, and they generate the one that I don't remember the name of, but it's the 2/3 with ward. I suppose we do generate a few others from the amulet that puts 2 in the deck every turn, but for the most part we're in control and we're almost exclusively putting in rush and ward because that's what we're looking for. We're looking to keep ourselves alive. Because the goal again is to win via that little Grim Reaper card that shows up at the bottom of the deck. We want to deck out our opponent. None of this victory through damage nonsense our opponents are so into. We're gonna have to waste a lot of evolution points in the beginning here because we don't have a lot of our removal. Not that that actually removed that, but, you know. Oh, they have their removal. That's fine, that's fine. We could start putting some wards up. Oh, good. They weren't in resonance. Our opponent, meanwhile, saving evolution points for some reason. Get Kronos out there. We only have 4 cards in our hand, which means we don't have to mill anything. And now we're sitting pretty. Like, this is the only point we need to reach in any match in order to win, is to get Kronos on the table and to have a relatively clear board, because once Kronos activates, we should be able to get the things we need to keep the board clear. We'll be able to draw into a lot of artifacts, we're going to continuously generate artifacts, and that's all that's required. We're also going to go ahead and biofabricate to make sure we have additional artifacts here, and we're pulling a few. Acceleradium is also very good because, again, I say again, we did do an artifact deck once. It does add a play point every time you play an artifact, so a lot of these are free artifacts. And now we do have the other 2 Cronoses in hand. They're basically just dead weight. If we have a turn where our opponent doesn't do anything, we could toss those out there. Ultimately, they're just going to sit in our hand as a necessary consequence of making sure we draw a Kronos. Which is why I really want a tutoring card that's like, hey, if you have an 8-cost minion in your deck, draw it, or something along those lines. I want something to give me a consistent Kronos draw, so maybe I could put less Kronoses in the deck. Because they are dead weight once you play one. And from this point forward, it's just a game about making smart trades, putting up walls when we think we're gonna need walls, and just trying to make intelligent trades. Honestly, playing wards when your opponent has the Acceleratium, not great, because you know they're going to be able to rush into your ward. But when they're at 10 play points, we also know they're probably running Saphira, Synthetic Beast, which has an enhance of 10 that gives it Storm. Actually, the enhance doesn't give it Storm, but they have 2 evolution points, so we are still playing around this. Because they've had quite a number of artifacts enter the board. This is why we have Grimnir in the deck. We never have to worry about really milling ourselves because many of our minions have small attack values. The biggest attack value is really 4. And most of the things in here die the turn we play them because they're exclusively used to clear the board. Our taunts only have 2 attack, which means we usually only draw 2 cards. Sadly, our opponent is also a Portalcraft deck, so they have the same benefit. This really just becomes an endurance contest here. It's really a question of whether or not they're able to maintain their cool throughout this grueling, never-ending match. Because I win through the long term. I'm here just to try and deck out my opponent, which means staying alive and playing the long game. Most people don't have the patience for that. Especially when you're playing just what I think is just the standard deck list for a tempo artifact deck. But we're not going to worry about any of that. We're just here to play a game of solitaire and wait for the clock to count down. So let's do those trades. So, we really want them to play their big minions, draw, and then we clear out the big minions the next turn. That way, Kronos' effect goes off, and then we prevent damage. Another explosion. Which is good, because they are going to fill up their board. And I'm constantly keeping an eye over here to see if they are going to be in resonance or not. Because whenever they're in resonance, they're going to end up... And this is my favorite part, they draw, and then they discard, and then they draw, because of the order the effects go off. And I don't know if that's because if the order the cards were played, Kronos was played first, then Deus Ex Machina was played, or if they each trigger at a different point in the end turn. That is something I want to know more about. This is the kind of thing in real life, when you're playing Magic the Gathering, you get into arguments about, because when effects go off in a physical card game is really a matter of the errata and looking up complicated rules online, trying to argue about what order the cards are in the stack. In a digital card game, it's all programmed in, so it's just up to the player to figure out, alright, what the hell is the programming doing here? Alright, they have even cards, they're in resonance. I'm hoping they stay in resonance, because I do want to show you and see... Alright, that's 5. They are stuck in resonance here. So they draw, discard, draw. Yes, it is going in the order we played them, But again, I don't know if that is always the case. I'd want to see this happen the other way. I want to see Deus Ex Machina played first and then Chronos to see if in that case it's discard, draw, draw, as opposed to draw, discard, draw. I promised you a long, grueling, drawn-out, never-ending match, and here we are. Turn 100, my opponent down to 8 cards. For some unknown reason, still playing cards that cycle, meaning they're doing more drawing. My concern is that they're gonna play Saphira, but at this point I don't think we have to worry, because I don't think they'll be able to get back up to 10. Now they definitely can't. They could have played an Ancient Artifact and gotten back up to 10. Oh, you idiot. Alright, now we win. They're going to draw 6 cards. There's nothing stopping us now. We did it! Deck out! Hooray! Well, that was Portal Mill, an absolutely terrible deck. And you know what? I'm actually posting this as a cry for help. If you know how to make a better Portal Mill deck, please comment below. Give me your deck list. Chat with me in the comments. Help me figure out, can we make an effective Portal Mill deck? Because I love the idea of playing Chronos, having your opponent's big minions be a detriment, filling your own deck with effective artifacts that build a wall via our little mystic artifacts, giving us charge. By charge I mean rush with our ancient artifacts and our cat cannoneer. More wards and board clears, banishings, more rushing. Like, I feel like the bones are here, and we're just missing a little bit of a something keeping us alive. And if you've cracked this code, help me out. Anyway, as I said at the beginning, this is kind of a two-parter. I have been exploring this type of mill deck, the Portal Mill, and I've also been exploring Forest Mill, and Forest Mill is a bit more versatile in that it comes in 2 flavors, so you could do that in Unlimited as well as Rotation. And we'll take a peek at probably the Rotation version, maybe both versions, next time in my quest to mill opponents. So until then, if you enjoy yourself, hey, like and subscribe. Obviously, don't try and win with this deck, but I think it's kind of fun. It's certainly an interesting way to play. And again, help me out. If you have suggestions, ideas, deck lists, anything. I'm just desperate to make Portal Mill even a little bit better. Hit me up. And until next time, bye-bye.